Welcome to RichTrybe. I'm Richard, and today we are uncovering the invisible mechanisms of real wealth. I want to show you exactly how the ultra-wealthy actually grow, protect, and pass on their money. Because the truth that completely changed my life is this: the financial game has rules, and most people are playing by the completely wrong ones. My goal today is to help you step out of the average mindset and start building extraordinary generational wealth.
And I'm Monique. I'll be jumping in throughout to ask the tough questions and make sure we ground these millionaire strategies in actual reality.
Perfect. So let's just go ahead and shatter the biggest illusion in finance right now.
Look at this contrast. On the left side, we have what I call the rich broke. This is your classic high earner, not rich yet. Picture a corporate lawyer pulling in $200,000 a year. They're leasing a luxury SUV, renting a downtown penthouse, and saving absolutely nothing. If they lose their job, they're literally bankrupt in 30 days. Now on the right, we have the wealthy invisible. A teacher making $75,000 a year, driving a paid-off Honda, and automatically investing 20% of her income. She's sitting on a $400,000 portfolio and has complete financial peace of mind.
Which brings us to our first core concept. Section 1, income is not wealth.
Okay, Richard, I have to challenge this premise right out of the gate. How is it realistically possible to make 200 grand a year and have absolutely nothing to show for it? What is actually trapping these high earners in this cycle? It's a really great question, Monique. The answer is lifestyle inflation. Think of it as the financial equivalent of Parkinson's law. You know how work just kind of magically expands to fill the time you give it? Well, in personal finance, spending expands to equal the available income. When you get a raise, you honestly don't feel richer for very long. You upgrade to a nicer apartment, you lease a better car, you start buying organic instead of regular. Within just a few months, that brand new income is completely absorbed into your new baseline. You're just running faster on a hedonic treadmill, going nowhere. The author Morgan Housel hit the nail on the head when he said, spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. We chase high income because it offers visible status. You know, the designer bag, the luxury car. But true, unshakable security, that's invisible. It's the Vanguard Index Fund balance that nobody else sees.
So how do we fix this? Section 2, pay yourself first.
All right, creating a gap between what you earn and what you spend sounds great in theory, but let's be real for a second. I hear this all the time. I can't afford to save right now. How can I possibly invest when I have so many bills to pay and inflation is just eating my paycheck? I hear you, and it's a valid feeling. But the reason people feel they have nothing left is because they pay everyone else first. They pay the landlord, the credit card company, the grocery store. The millionaire solution to this is reverse budgeting. You automatically move a fixed amount into your investments the exact moment you get paid, before you pay a single bill. If you wait to see what's left at the end of the month, I guarantee you the answer will always be zero. You have to actively force the gap. Even if it's just $20 a paycheck to start, you are building the habit. And human behavior is funny. Your discretionary spending will naturally adjust to whatever is left over. And why do we fight so insanely hard for that gap? Because of this right here. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The rich understand this on a cellular level. You absolutely want to be on the earning side of this equation, not the paying side.
Wow, just look at this math. If you save $1,000 a month in cash for 30 years, you end up with $360,000. But if you invest that exact same amount at an 8% return, you hit $1.5 million. So basically, by leaving money in a basic bank account, you are actively losing out on over $1 million of compounded growth.
Exactly, Monique. It's a massive hidden loss. Which brings us to Section 3, strategic asset allocation. To really understand how millionaires and billionaires grow their money, we have to pull back the curtain and look inside the family office. A family office is basically a private wealth management advisory firm built specifically for ultra-high net worth investors. And I can tell you for a fact, they do not structure their portfolios like the average retail investor playing around on a stock app. The data from the UBS Global Family Office Report proves this. Just look at this allocation. Only 58% of their wealth is in traditional asset classes like public stocks and bonds. A massive 42% is allocated to alternative asset classes. They are heavily diversifying away from the public markets and moving into private equity, private debt, and real assets. Why? Because the private market is nearly 3 times bigger than the public market. It offers way broader diversity and completely unique growth opportunities.
Wait, 42% in alternatives? When I hear alternatives, I instantly think of things like fine art and rare wine. Isn't that just a vanity hobby for billionaires? Like, should an everyday investor even care about art collections?
It's absolutely not just a hobby. Look at this number, 10.4%. According to Deloitte, ultra-high net worth individuals actively allocate an average of over 10% of their entire wealth specifically to art and collectibles. It acts as this incredible dual-function capital asset. It's an alternative investment that provides financial returns that are completely uncorrelated to the stock market, while also serving as a tangible tool for legacy creation. They treat it with the exact same seriousness as a traditional stock portfolio.
But growing the money is only half the battle. Let's move to Section 4, Tax-Efficient Investing Secrets.
And that is literally the million-dollar question. If these wealthy families are making these massive returns in private equity and the stock market, how are they not just losing a huge chunk of it to capital gains taxes every single year?
They don't lose it because they use highly sophisticated tax optimization. And one of their absolute favorite tools, which is actually just now becoming available to the broader public, is called direct indexing. So instead of buying a single ETF that tracks the S&P 500, you build a custom portfolio that literally owns the individual shares of the companies inside that index. Doing this unlocks a major superpower, stock-level tax control.
Here is exactly how they execute it in the real world. Let's say the overall market is up, but Coca-Cola stock happens to be down 10%. With direct indexing, the wealth manager sells Coca-Cola specifically to harvest that loss. They then use that loss to legally offset the taxes on gains they made somewhere else in the portfolio. Finally, to maintain the portfolio's overall balance and avoid the IRS wash sale rule, they immediately buy a highly similar stock like PepsiCo. They stay fully invested in the market, but they've just magically wiped out a portion of their tax bill.
This strategy creates what we in the industry call tax alpha. Studies show this kind of surgical tax loss harvesting can boost your after-tax returns by an extra 1% annually. Now, 1% might not sound like a lot today, but when you compound that over decades on a multi-million-dollar portfolio, it fundamentally shifts the entire trajectory of your wealth.
Okay, we are about to reveal the ultimate, absolute biggest wealth preservation secret used by the rich. But before we get to that final strategy, if you're finding value in this explainer today, please take a quick second to subscribe to RichTrybe channel, like, comment, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your support is what helps us bring more of these invisible wealth strategies to light.
Thank you, Monique. Now for the grand finale. Section 5, Buy, Borrow, Die.
This is literally the holy grail of wealth generation and preservation. It's a concept coined by tax law professor Ed McCaffrey. Here is the three-step loop. Step 1, buy appreciating assets. We're talking stocks, real estate, art. Step 2, never sell them, because selling triggers taxes. Instead, you borrow against them. The IRS does not tax debt. You can actually take out a line of credit against your portfolio to fund your entire lifestyle entirely tax-free, while your underlying assets just continue to compound and grow faster than the interest rate of the loan. And step 3, die. When you pass away, your heirs inherit these assets with what's called a stepped-up cost basis. This means the IRS resets the value of the assets to whatever they were worth on the exact day you died, completely wiping out decades of accumulated capital gains taxes. Your heirs pay off the loan and they keep the massive tax-free difference.
It is a breathtakingly efficient system when you really look at it. The rich don't work for money to pay taxes. They accumulate assets to borrow against. So my final question for you today is this. Are you going to keep chasing the visible illusion of a high income, or are you ready to finally build the unshakable security of invisible wealth? The blueprint is right here in your hands. What is your very first move going to be? Welcome to the tribe.